Declutter Queen with Avery Kundle.
And welcome back to the Declutter Queen. This is the show where we tackle each and every area of clutter in your life, one space at a time. And here we go, on to our clothes. Clothing is one of the worst culprits for causing clutter. Could be your closet, or maybe your dresser. Is it that chair in the corner? Or the 5 tote bags of "I'll get to this later" outfits in the garage? So if getting dressed feels more stressful than stylish, stick around, because today I'm going to guide you through a gentle, guilt-free wardrobe declutter that actually works. As we dive into this project, it may be helpful to answer some questions. Let's start with the big one. Why is it so hard to get rid of clothes? For most of us, it's not really about fashion. It's about identity, memory, and sometimes wishful thinking. Maybe you're holding on to jeans from 2012 that might fit again someday, or a dress you wore once to a wedding but feel too guilty to part with it, or a mountain of sale items that still have the tags on. Don't worry, you're not alone. I'm very sure that many people can relate to these issues. But here's the thing. Every item in your wardrobe takes up mental space, even if it's not on your body. Decluttering isn't about becoming a minimalist or throwing everything out. It's about making decisions that reflect who you are right now. So let's go through the 5 simple steps for decluttering clothes. And we're going to break it down. These are 5 nice, doable steps. So number 1, pull it all out. You're going to hear this a lot on this decluttering ride. Yes, all of it. Every sock, every scarf, every top, every pair of pants. Lay it on your bed or the floor so you can see the full picture. It's eye-opening to realize how much we actually own. Number 2, sort into 3 piles. The yes pile. You wear it regularly, it fits well, and you feel good in it. The no pile. Damaged, doesn't fit, you know you're just not going to wear it again. Then there's the maybe pile. Sentimental items or pieces you're unsure about. Okay, here's one of my pro tips. Limit your maybe pile. If you haven't touched that item in 3 months, I know, 3 months, you might want to let it go. Step number 3, try it on. Yes, really. If you're unsure, try on the item. How does it feel right now? Are you adjusting it, pulling at it, unhappy with it in any way? That's your body telling you something. Step number 4, set boundaries. Give yourself a limit. Maybe 40 hangers. Maybe 1 drawer for t-shirts. Let the space be your container, not your emotions. If you're out of space, the items have to be limited. Step number 5, donate, sell, or repurpose. So now that you've made decisions and you've got a nice no pile, give your clothes a second life. Donate it to a local shelter. Sell it on one of the resale apps if it's super valuable. Or maybe even host a clothing swap with friends. These are just ideas, but you get the drift. That stuff has to go. And if it's easier and makes you feel better, less guilty, then make a project of this donation, and then you'll feel good about it. You're actually helping somebody else with something that you might never have touched again. Something powerful to remember, and this is where we're getting into a bit of a mindset shift. Just because it cost money doesn't mean you owe it your space. The money is already spent. The cost of keeping something you don't use is greater than the cost of letting it go. Also, try and get rid of the fantasy self. You don't need to dress for the life you wish you had. Dress for the life you actually live. That's where confidence and clarity comes from. Let's circle back to the maybe pile for a moment. Now it's time to investigate this pile a little bit more thoroughly. Hopefully, we can whittle this pile away a bit more. Some may be keepers, but others, send them to the no pile. If you're looking at it and humming and hawing, I think you know where that item has to go. All right, that's your crash course in clothing decluttering. It is very possible that you're feeling overwhelmed with this project. So what I suggest, if that's how you're feeling, start with just 10 items. Pick 10 pieces to let go of today. That's it. You don't have to do it all in one weekend. Progress over perfection, always. And hey, if this episode helped you, share it with a friend who's drowning in laundry piles and maybe someday sweaters. Or better yet, declutter together. You can find the full checklist from today's episode in the show notes. If you want more practical tips, subscribe to my newsletter. There's a bunch of different levels you can get to. You can have a major subscription or a smaller subscription, but these subscriptions will send you more of what you need to really declutter well. Until then, remember, clear space makes room for clear thoughts. And now,
tea with the Declutter Queen.
So I'd like to welcome my very good friend, Christy, coming to the show. Thank you for agreeing to be a guest on the Declutter Queen podcast, Christy.
Thanks, Ave. Pleasure to be here.
Christy's question was,
I was wondering if you could provide some feedback on decluttering or managing the kids' childhood mementos, special books, maybe toys or gifts that are no longer in use, but need to either have a special spot or need to move on to their next place.
I'm a big proponent of making piles and dividing stuff up. And I feel like that's the best way to approach this particular project as well as many projects. So what I would suggest is that this is the worst part. You kind of have to gather all of the stuff together. So you find a dedicated space and then you sort of go on a scavenger hunt in your house and you find all of these, I'll call them mementos. I would suggest starting there with what I like to call the scavenger hunt. And by the way, Christy, I'll send you notes on all this. So don't worry about taking any notes. You just enjoy the chat. So once you have all of these items in a giant pile, you want to create 3 piles. Full disclosure, I did this before we made our big move here, and it was like spread out almost throughout my whole family room. So it sometimes can be quite large. Pile A is going to be your keep and cherish. Okay, so these are the items that they're either used, they're being used, part of a tradition, maybe they're connected to a memory, that they're high quality and you want to keep, and you know right away, I want to keep them. Okay, so that's pile A. Pile B is the keep but reduce pile. These things could be, I like them, but I have so many of them. Could be duplicates. Could be something that maybe your kids rarely accessed and you know that. Because I'm getting to that, do we need to consult the kids? But we're not there yet. Things that you kind of look at, you can kind of earmark as, I don't know if I need to keep all of these things. Okay, so keep but reduce is the second. The third pile is the let go. And I like to say with gratitude, because all gifts, we have gratitude that it came into our lives, but let's face it, we don't have to keep everything. So the let go pile are things, damaged items right away. You know that can go into the let go. Something that you just know that your child doesn't use. They've outgrown it. Gigantic, doesn't fit your space anymore, causes clutter. And it's kind of hard to sort of eye in the sky it, but you'll know. The let go right away, you'll go, okay, this I can definitely let go. And that let go pile, just remember, it's not that you didn't appreciate the gift or that your child didn't appreciate your gift or that it didn't mean something, but right now it's not serving any purpose.
Yes.
Pile B, I just want to jump back to that one. The keep but reduce pile, that's one where you may want to consult with your kids on it. Now, if you can pin them down, I know that's my biggest problem, but I found whenever I consult my kids about stuff, they're very quick to say, get rid of it. So you kind of balance that. They might say, get rid of it all, Mom, I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. And you might say, oh, I'm going to keep a few of these things that I really think are special. It's one of those things that kind of think it's special, but I don't really think I need to keep it. One of the things that is a nice way of memorializing the item is take a photo of it. And then, you have a photo of the book. It's a memory sometimes rather than I need to keep this thing. So you can take some photos, maybe print up the photos, put them in a little file folder, which is obviously way less space than a book, and keep it in that way. And by the way, a secondary project which can emanate from this project is what I call and I know we're getting into several topics here, but 2 boxes a child. Now, books are not going to fit into this because they're too big, but a scrapbook size box and then a photo box. And this is something that I did, and I ended up with 6 boxes total. 3 photo boxes for each kid. I have 3. You'd have 2, and then 2 scrapbook boxes. And then in those scrapbook boxes go all of those things that you want to keep. Obviously, books too big, but let's say the pictures of the books that you took. Those can go in there. Diplomas, that first finger painting that you just think, oh, I want to keep that one. So the project can emanate. But once you've got these boxes, now when you find something that you don't know what to do with, but you really want to keep, slide it into that scrapbook box. And then more importantly, throw stuff out. Like I found 10 fingerprints that Jaden did in kindergarten. I didn't need to keep 10. I kept 1, which may be too many. Do you know what I mean? So yes. The project can evolve. But if we're sticking to books and really special mementos and gifts that are usually bigger, I would give yourself a limit. So say 1 shelf per child. Once that shelf is full, that's it.
It's great. And I think you're right. Kids at our kids' age are not really thinking about those cool, neat things. I just remember my mom saving some of our toys. And then when my kids were little, they're playing with that Fisher-Price house that you and I had and things like that. But it can only go so far. And I don't have
Absolutely.
a walk-up attic as my parents did where all of that stuff lived out of sight. And
when we say that, because that's sort of the sentimental thing. And so I would say keep 1 or 2 things easy to house. It's when you start having mass amounts of stuff that it's just going to be something that somebody is going to have to deal with. And more than likely, we're keeping too much.
Right. Well, that's the way I think that's a great way to think about it, is that if you don't do it, your kids are going to have to do it. Get rid of it.
Give them a box. Give them, like, we all want to give things to our kids. And, certainly I do. But when I went through everything, and I have another friend who did this project too, and I ended up with a scrapbook and then a photo box for each child, I had bags and bags of garbage gone. And I've culled it to where I'm keeping the things that really were important, sentimental, that I really think my kids are going to want. And one box is manageable. They're not going to want to go through bins and bins and bins of stuff. So when you give it to them, it's actually more special.
Agreed.
I ordered them on Amazon, shameless plug. They're not a sponsor, but I think everybody talks about Amazon. I got these 2 and I can send you the link. They're great. They're not huge. They're sort of a nice size that you can fold up artwork. You can put a diploma in there.
Perfect.
I know for Lily, I put her little cap. I'll send you the links. It's 2 photo boxes, 2 scrapbooks. And then, as you're doing the project, you might find photos that you'd like to give your parents. Make them a photo box. Just buy it. It's literally a box that you put the photos in. It's not something that you have to be crafty. And then you're kind of giving things along that somebody else might want to see.
Right. Sounds great.
And I'm going to send you all of my notes today so you can go through it and do whatever. And I hope that was helpful for you. It's really about gathering, having the time, and just being ruthless. Like, man, I don't need all this stuff anymore. I think I'm going to imagine that you're moving. That's a great way to do it. I'm moving. What's coming with me?
Right. What am I paying to move? Well, you may be getting some FaceTime calls from me. Just keep on going. Keep on going.
Please do. I would love that, Christy. Love nothing more.
Thanks for listening to The Declutter Queen with Avery Kundle. For more decluttering tips and tricks, go to thedeclutterqueen.ca.
Produced and distributed by the Sound Off Media Company.